Hello students, in this program we are going to add two lists. That means there are two lists of numbers given which we will add to produce a third list. Okay, so this is the problem. Write a program to add numbers at corresponding indexes of two lists of the same size and store them in a third list. Look at this example. We have a list of 5 elements named A. Okay, and we also have another list with 5 elements named B. Now we want to add the items at corresponding indexes of these two lists. That means 1 is at index 0 and 6 is at index 1. We want to 6 is also at index 0. Okay, 1 is at index 0 in list A and 6 is at index 0 in list B, and we want to add these two so that we can get 7, which will be put at index 0 of list C. Okay, this we want to do for all the elements of list A and B. Okay, likewise number 2 is at index 1 in list A and number 7 is at index 1 in list B. We want to add these two so that we get 9, which will be put at index 1 of list C. This is how all the elements of list C will be created, by adding corresponding items in the list A and B. Okay, so this is the new list obtained by adding corresponding items in A and B, the list C. Now you can pause this video here for a few minutes and try to figure out how this can be done. Okay, before seeing the program, we want to discuss how we will be tackling this problem. We want to add items at corresponding indexes in the two lists. We want to add the items at the corresponding indexes in the two lists. Okay, now look closely at the list A. It has the items 1, 2, 3 and 4, and indexes are shown in red color: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 is at index 3, number 3 is index 2, number 5 is at index 4. Similarly, index B is also list B is also having, wait a minute, I should insert a page break here. See, the list B also has indexes 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, at which there are numbers 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And when we add the corresponding elements of A and B, we get 7 at index 0, as we discussed already, and 2 plus 7 gives us 9 at index 1. 3 plus 8 for index 2 gives us 11 for index 2 in list C, and so on. So this is what we want to do. So we see that the indexes are same for list A and B from where the items will be taken. So how can we do this? See, here is the note first, which says we first create a new list C having the same items as A. Okay, we first create a list C having the same items as A. So by this we just want to create a new list C which has the same number of items as A. See, it is not important to have the same items as the items in A, but it is not important, and it is simply random values. We consider them just the random values. The important thing is that the list C also has the same number of elements as the list A, and items being the same does not mean much. Okay, as is written in this note, these are just useless initial values which will be replaced in step 2, because in list C we are going to store the sum of the two items from A and B. Okay, now we look at the second point. This point says we then run a for loop with loop variable I for index values 0 to 4. Okay, see, we see there are index values 0 to 4 in A and B, so we can run a loop with loop variable I for index values 0 to 4. In the loop, A square bracket I and B square bracket I will give us the items at the same index I, which we can add and put in the list C at the same index I. Okay, so as I is going to vary from 0 to 4, we can add AI plus BI, and inside a loop that will give us the sum of all the items in list A and B, because I is going to vary from 0 to 4, and whatever will be the result will be put in the index I of list C. Okay, so let's now look at the program. It is a very simple program actually, but it's a good example of a loop and indexes. See, this is the list A and list B. These we have already seen. Now we create a variable n which is equal to the length of A. Now it is given that two lists A and B are of the same size. That means length of A and B is same, so we simply take the length of A. Okay, that will also be the length of B. Now we assign this length of A to a variable n. Then what we need is a list C, so that we can, when we add the numbers from list A and B, we can put their sum into list C. So we need a list C in the first place. So how do we do it? We just create a copy of list A by using this function list. Okay, look closely. This list function is taking a parameter or argument A. Okay, A is this list, and it is creating a copy of the list A and assigning it to variable C. Okay, so C is now a new list which has the same elements as these elements. Okay, but it is a different list in memory. Okay, although the values are same, but all these values are duplicated in memory for a new list C. Next, what after this we run the loop. Okay, look closely at the loop. We have written for I in range 0 comma n. Now n is length of A. What is the length of A? It is 5. 1 2 3 4 5 5 elements are there, so length is equal to 5. So now when you write a range 0 comma 5, what you get is the values 0 1 2 3 and 4, one less than the stopping value is n. Okay, so these 5 values 0 to 4 are assigned to this loop variable I one by one. Okay, and the statements in the loop will be executed with these 5 different values of I 5 times. Okay, so let us see what we actually do in the for loop. What we do is simply add the element at index I in list A with the element at index I in list B, and whatever is there, the result of this addition, we put that at index I in list C. Okay, so remember we are doing this for all the values of I from 0 to 4. Okay, so first of all, so this statement is going to get executed 5 times. First, with the value of I being 0, in that case we will be adding A0 plus B0, and the result will go into C0. Then we will be adding A1, because next time the value of I will be 1, so we'll be adding A1 and B1, and the result will be put in C1. Okay, so on. The same will happen with the values of I, 2, 3 and 4 also. So in essence, 5 times the addition will be performed for different values of I, and the results will be placed in indexes 0 to 4 in list C. Okay, so after this loop is over, we have added all the elements from the two lists and put the results in the list C. Now what remains is just to show the output to the user. The sum of the list is to be shown to the user. Now what we do, we just print this message, the new list. Okay, here, and first we just print the message, the new list, and then we print the list C. So this is the program, a very simple program, but important in explaining, in understanding on the role of indexes and how you can iterate over a list. You can iterate over all the indexes of a list using a loop. Okay, thank you.